freedom, almost bordering recklessness. He would never inform anyone before leaving for anywhere. People would assume his death and would try to break into his house and usurp things for themselves, and soon enough, he would show up not caring about the lost artifacts, for he would bring more with him. This, according to him, was natural eviction. He kept just enough money to be able to come back home. And you had to see his backpack to believe. He had just the things he would need and no more. Only 2 pairs of clothes, including the one he started with, and 1 pair of shoes. So, we are talking about a character. I'll just jump quickly to the... So, the second excerpt I want to read today is a bit of conversation, in which we are again talking about a protagonist. So, this is a conversation between 2 people. Oh, he does. Always been like that. Preachy, patient, pensive, and an ideal candidate for a priest. We, in fact, once went to a local temple to admit him, but the head priest declared him too smart for it. We were happy and sent him to the best school, but then we came to know that he had opened his own school 50 yards away from it and now had his cult of followers. We thought he would be the next revolutionary, but again, he hit a saturation point and moved on. He then ran from our city to come to Bombay. We could never understand how he survived there, but patiently waited every night for his face to appear on the TV. Now, the second person says, "What? You feared he would?" I understated the unspeakable. "Oh, no. He promised us that he would be in news one day. But since he was neither criminally or politically bent, nor did he have any apparent talents, odds were always against." So, the second one. Just let me know if I'm reading too quickly. I'll just tone down my reading time. Yeah. So this last excerpt is something that goes into the head of one of the protagonists as he's in a dungeon. So it's all dark and gloomy. I started a slight eeny, meeny, miny, mo before something caught my eye. A torch was walking. Yes, that's what I saw. A torch was bobbing up and down, going deeper into the path behind the door that was in front of me. The childhood experience of watching all the horror TV shows and movies aids you unwelcomingly in such times, giving you the imagination and creativity to see the supernatural. I mustered all my courage and decided to go after it. I had to, even if it was a ghost or the President of the United States. Now, I started walking in its direction, behind the bobbing flicker of its light. But surprisingly, it was receding very quickly, and its size was growing smaller and smaller, as if a portal closing on itself. Disregarding the dangers ahead, I too started to run behind it. But the torch, it seemed, had a mind of its own. It started to literally fly. I too, out of compulsion for a good-natured competitive race, joined in with speed. Magic, I thought, as I also started to run insanely fast. The ground beneath me felt like an escalator. So there you go, some excerpt from my book.
A lot of descriptive writing, I must say. Can we have a round of applause, please?
Thank you. Oh yeah, I'll just fetch it. So I will...
Just let them know it's not so easy.
Yeah. Oh, the letter he receives from the publisher.
Yeah, all that. Life of a writer.
I think this one.
Oh, that's right, from here.
Okay. So there's another excerpt. Let's see. Yeah. So this is actually the moment in the first part where these guys are traveling in a car. So I'll just read this out. At that precise moment, lightning struck somewhere in the horizon ahead, as if cementing the statement. Half an hour passed in a jiffy. Hazare, it seemed, was meditating for a reason, for he suddenly woke up from his vegetative state and began to speak. So Hazare is speaking now. And then I became fully aware of his presence. Hazare was recounting some anecdote, one of the many he would in the next hour, to which I paid no attention, and excused myself with an email that was 4 days old on my phone. It was for my publishing house. So just an interesting thing, as a writer, it's very easy for me to put up a character that is a writer itself. So another character which is in the book is a writer. So it comes very naturally for writers to portray such a character, because we can always repeat the struggles and the struggles of a writer on paper. The sir was referring to the same thing. So here it is. The character has received a letter from a publishing house, which goes like this: Dear Paul, we are sorry to inform you that your submission titled "The Pandora Without a Box" has not been selected by us for publication. Do not get disheartened, and we encourage you to keep sending us your work for further publication. Wishing you the best, Amithya from Bortham Publication. I had read and reread it several times after it had come 4 days back. It was a heartache for which I was not prepared. It was my best work till date. Nonetheless, it had been since 4 days since I had put even a single word to paper. Coincidentally, the same very day I had met Hazare, and now I was far away from my desk and my characters, the evil Professor Grant and the masked albino villain Dastard and the hero Larry. Last word I wrote was the evil Professor Grant being challenged by Larry to speak. Speak, you fool, speak. Thank you.
Yes, let's not forget J.K. Rowling also was rejected 16 times. So just to add to that. We now open the floor to Q&A, and I'd request sir if he would want to start with one quick question to Shantanu. Anything that he would like to ask?
The last page, there's something about the surrogate lives. If you explain that, there's no point in reading the novel, so I won't ask the question.
So I'll just expand on it. So a lot of people have asked me, what is the meaning of the title, The Surrogate Lives? It's very interesting because while I was just concocting the first paragraph, I came up with this title. So it's very difficult to explain the idea unless you read the novel, as sir rightly said. So I'll leave it at this. Go figure out by reading the novel. I won't actually say more about it. So yeah, thank you.
We can have questions from here as well. Any questions you'd like to ask the author?
Anyone?
We are from the corporate world, so and getting into novel writing, it requires discipline. So, what's the inspiration? And there has to be something to get into this. What's that?
Inspiration to write, or
inspiration to write a book, in fact.
okay.
I've seen your blog, I've read your blog, so it's like Hindi, English, both the languages. I always tell you, right?
Yeah.
That very few people have this knack of writing in both the languages, and that too this deep.
Sure.
So what's the inspiration?
Okay. If I have to be very honest, I am at my best when I'm writing. So it's one of the talents I have, irrespective of if I am a jack of many trades, but if I think I'm master of this one. So it's a talent which I feel most comfortable with in my life. And surely this is the happiest thing which I do out of the 24 hours daily. So if someone can sponsor me with my day job, like for a couple of years down the line, I can very well put like 10 to 15 novels in a span of 2 to 3 years. So yeah, the inspiration is from.
Maybe you can repeat that once more. The right person is coming, so that I can actually record that.
So the question, for those people who have just joined in, was from Prachi, and she was asking, what's the inspiration of writing? Where does this inspiration of writing novels and stories come from? So I was just quoting that, it's something which I'm best at. There are many things I'm good at, there are many things I'm fair at, but this is the only thing which I'm best at. And I realized somewhere down the line in my life, maybe a little too late for my comfort, but thank God I realized it. And it's the best thing. So I was just quoting that if someone can sponsor my day job for like 2-3 years, give me the money I require so that I can silently do the writing. I'll definitely see you in office tomorrow. So not happening anytime sooner. So that's inspiration. So I started when I was in my school and college. I used to write long answers of relatively short questions which require like 50 words. I used to write 500 words. So I was new key. I had that talent to expand on the ideas. right? And from college, it went down to writing poetry, writing some articles. I left tennis, lawn tennis, so I wrote like a couple of articles on Roger Federer, Nadal. I got appreciation for that in my college group. Then I realized, okay, yeah, I can write something big also. I can build on this. Why not? And I was a regular reader of good authors like P.G. Woodhouse, Roald Dahl, Ayn Rand. So and I realized I have this reader's mindset to figure out things which very subtle things which might not appeal to a lot of people, which I think the readers or writers can only understand. So I thought, why not? So I started writing, and it was not an easy task. I started with few ideas. I put the ideas to dustbin. I restarted again. But yeah, I'm glad that I was able to publish it. I'm glad that you all are here. I'm glad Shri Kumar Varma sir here. I'm glad my family is here to see this day. I am very glad that this day has come. And yeah, I'm hoping it will continue this way. Thank you.
Any more questions? We can take a couple more questions.
Yeah.
No, please.
He's the cameraman and the person who wants to ask a question.
Yeah, that's good.
So, Santa, as I call him.
Yeah, please.
So, any advice for aspiring writers with a disclaimer that probably I would want to co-author a book with just few pages in the near future.
You also be more graphic in
You can give the pictures there.
So, the first advice with like more you in the mind. Okay, let's not get wrong notions about ourselves, and let's be very realistic when we put pen to paper because people will read it, obviously. On a serious note, I'm not that established a writer. Maybe I can pass this question, sir. So I would like to ask this question.
I've been asking that to myself for many years. I still haven't got the answer. But when you want to write, just write. Don't think about publishers. Don't think about anything else. Just write. And then, as I was telling him, Hemingway once said, when you're drunk, you can write. It will be good writing. But edit when you're sober.
Anyone else?
Questions? We're not in school, we don't force questions. Any questions?
See, this is not a question. I am a writer. I'm just sharing my experience. He was telling, I didn't read the book, but I will be reading it. He was telling it needs more edit. What I feel is, you can increase the number of rewrites. You increase the number of rewrites, you don't have, your editing will be better. I don't know how many times you have reread your writing. Writing is all about rewriting. For a chapter of one page, I have written more than 30 to 40 times one chapter for prologue. So, as with my experience, I'm telling you, I have not published my book. That's a different story. But I can say honestly, if you want to have a better book, rewrite.
Super.
That's all.
Thank you so very much. I'm sure all of aspiring artists can take this from these two gentlemen. Whatever they are just advised. Anyone else?
I think we have a question there.
Hey Shantanu, congrats first of all and best wishes.
Thank you so much.
So I wanted to ask you, what makes good content? How do you decide? Do you see your target audience, or do you reiterate the whole stuff again? How do you think what sells?
Okay, so I have a very different viewpoint on it. Honestly, when I start writing, as sir rightly said, you just write. You don't think about the target audience or how the book is going to fare or what is the genre. If you have an idea in mind, why don't you just start it? See where it goes. And for me, good content is which satisfies me as a writer. So I am very selfish in that respect. I write for myself first. I don't worry about the readers, publishers. If they find it good, best, they'll publish it. If the readers find it good, great, they'll read it. But first, I should be happy with the outcome. I should be happy with the words I'm putting to paper. And as a reader, while I was a reader, now I'm a writer, but while I was, if I'm in the shoes of a reader, I look for those emotional touching moments, whether it's comedy, a genre, horror, anything. It should touch you. It should touch your emotions. Many times, even in books, movies, or any art form, I realize that you have goosebumps in some part of a movie or some part of a book. Those flashy moments makes it worthwhile to read a book. And if I can capture those moments in my writing, that's what I want to do as an author. If it touches with the audience, if it touches with the publishers, fair enough.
Well, I don't have any question to ask. I just want to share something with all of you. Maybe apart from his parents, in this group of people, I can say that I would be the little oldest one who knows Shantanu. Okay, we have studied together during our MBA entrance in law in Cerebral Heights, and it's that day and today we are meeting after almost 11 years.
Thank you so much for coming, brother. Great.
So what made me come here is to wish him the best. I knew him as a really good reader, but seeing him as a great writer is something which brought me here, and all the best for that.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Anyone else who wants to ask me or sir any further questions? Mansi, do you have any questions? Please.
I think there are a lot of people who aspire to write, and there are a few who actually do. And in the midst of all of that, there's only so much that you can do to get the visibility. So what do you think is that X thing that you're going to do so that, the Surrogate Lies is out there and more people know it?
Okay. It's a difficult question because honestly, when I finished this book, I realized it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work on marketing your book. It's a lot of work, getting the book out there to the audience. And the first step obviously starts from the publisher. You ought to have good publisher. So the publishing house currently, they have been very supportive in terms of marketing from there, and I'd also like to thank them for their all support. They have been digitally marketing this book. I've been lending them a hand. But I realized that nowadays it's a person-to-person connect. Everyone is going digital. Everyone is doing Facebook marketing, Twitter marketing, and everything. But you also need that personal connect with the audience. So maybe I'm not decided upon it, but maybe I'll go to a book fair, maybe I'll go to a school, a college, where I can actually talk with the readers, so that's my idea, over and above the digital marketing and the regular marketing, what I'm doing. And obviously I like some other ideas flowing in from you guys or my publishing houses, which I can take upon. But yeah, it's a learning curve for me also, how to market, how to promote your book. So yeah, it's a big headache, amongst the clutter that you got to push your book out there. Yeah, I'll definitely explore a few new ideas.
Ask for leave. Ask for leave to go to all that.
So you're saying ask for leave to go to all these places. So yeah.
On an official tour. On an official tour. Official tour. Yes. Not on leave.
Any other questions, guys, or we just move quickly to the...
I just have something. Okay. I have no questions for you. Let after Siddharth.
I just want to know what is the big difference between writing a blog and then writing a book. Like, what amount of energy that you put into your writing a book? Because blog writing is something which ends up with 3 or 4 pages at max, and then to write a book it will go almost like 250, 300, if I'm not wrong, an average size of a book. So what is the amount of energy that you put into, and what is the difference between writing both?
So, so there are 2 different worlds, to be very honest. I started with blog writing. Blogs take up, it's an idea, it's a small idea which you can actually write in a day or so. Book is collection of small ideas, but you have to be very creative in adjusting those small ideas together because it has to be coherent in its entire nature. And also there's a lot of planning involved. A lot of things which you have planned earlier can go wrong. might not read right, might not seem right when you actually reach that idea. So, I like to have a mix of both worlds. So there are two aspects where you can actually take a book. You write freehand, you just write what it's in your mind, and then you can structure it all together very nicely, very primly. So I like to follow a middle path. So many things can go wrong in between while you are writing a story. You have to do justice to a character. You have to make your character consistent all throughout the book. You cannot have like a character putting some other nuances in the beginning and then later change. Well, having said that, you can experiment also in a book. It gives the liberty to experiment more than a blog would do. So it's an expansion of a blog, but in a more creative way. You have to transport your readers to that place of what you're trying to convey. A good book for me as a reader also is that I should feel connected to the entire storyline, whether it's fiction or non-fiction. I have to be part of that. Well, this blog, it's an idea, it's an instant idea which can go like one day or so. But yeah, it's a lot of energies. You have to craft a lot of characters, their nuances, how they are interconnected with each other. You have to plan for scenes, what all scenes should come, what's the logical flow and everything. So as Sir was saying, you have to rewrite a lot of times, and that's the exact reason why.